Mr. Truck here reporting from Dearborn, Michigan. I am in Ford headquarters. We're introducing some new things for 2017. Now we know in 2017 the 10-speed Raptor, the new EcoBoost, but you can also get a Series 2 EcoBoost 3.5 twin turbo in the regular F-150. And it has dual injectors, it has port injection, you got all kinds of fuel delivery, plus that 10-speed automatic is also available in the F-150, the regular truck. This is awesome. This here is the 2017 truck. Not a whole lot of difference in looking at the body, but this has that new paint scheme, which is white gold. So it's a new color, it's metallic. There's a few changes coming, a few more things we're going to know about that they're going to do with the 2.7. Later on, some more options there. But this is that Series 2 with all the extra power and the 10-speed. So we're going to wait and see what the fuel mileage numbers are and all those new things coming out. But this is for 17 F-150.
Thanks again for coming, and I'm going to turn it over to Doug Scott.
Thank you, Michael. Hey, good morning, everybody. Now, specifically, we've talked very consistently about F-150, this F-150 being the toughest, the smartest, and the most capable F-150 ever. Just recently, we also got some great news on the safest front. Again, there were a few people that questioned the move of going to high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy, and I think the IIHS announcement and selection of F-150 as the only truck deserving of the top safety pick provides no better example of the strength, the durability characteristics that made going to high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy the right choice. We're the only truck to have it's a 5-star rating in all crash modes for all cabs, and also now the only truck to have the top safety pick from the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. So again, a really strong validation of what we're doing in the F-Series business these days. Now in 2017, we're showing up with a new improved 3.5-liter EcoBoost, 10-speed transmission, Raptor coming back to the market. In fact, I think we've got something to show you here, so let's take a look. Just to show you, again, something that a number of other people said that couldn't be done, is that you couldn't sell trucks with V6 engines. Well, in the month of April, 62% of the F-150s that we sold were an EcoBoost engine, either the 2.7 or the 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine. And 72% of the F-150s that we sold were a V6, so you throw in about 10% for the entry-level engine, the 3.5 naturally aspirated engine. So again, you talk about innovating, you talk about really carving a new path and setting a new standard. That's what we do consistently, and it's guys like Jim that really have enabled this. We're probably sometime in June, but definitely by July, we will sell our 1 millionth EcoBoost equipped F-150. So considering we introduced it in February of 2011, that's an amazing accomplishment. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Jim to get out of the way. There you go, Jim.
Thank you, Doug. Okay, kind of hard to top that, so with all the great sales numbers, but good morning and thank you for joining us this morning. As Doug said, I'm Jim Mazachowski. I do the new V6 engines for the company, and as he also mentioned, I was fortunate enough to do the first generation, and I hung around long enough now we're introducing the second generation. So I'm going to talk to you today about the all-new second generation 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine. Again, just looking back briefly, mentioned earlier, the first application of the 3.5 EcoBoost was in 2009. We then put the 3.5 EcoBoost into the F-Series in 2011, and it was wildly successful, and it really was the launch pad for the EcoBoost migration within the company. We put it globally, 4-cylinder engines, 6-cylinder engines, and it's nice because today we really come in full circle, because now the 3.5-liter engine is getting the second generation EcoBoost engine, and I'm going to tell you about some of the details this morning. While we're already on our second generation, some of our competitors aren't even in the space yet. Okay, so the all-new second generation EcoBoost 3.5-liter engine, when we set out to design it, it was really about efficiency and fuel economy, performance and output. We needed to meet certainly the emission standards today and set the engine up to meet them in the future. Quality and durability improvements, as well as reducing what we call NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness. We did that by focusing in on several areas. We've got a pretty unique fuel system strategy that I'll show you a more detailed slide on, but there's two fuel systems on the second generation EcoBoost engine. You'll remember EcoBoost is all about turbocharging and direct injection fuel. We've supplemented that with a traditional port fuel injection system. So there's two fuel injection systems on the engine, 2 injectors per cylinder, which is one of the big things we have in our second generation. Brand new cylinder head with roller finger follower valve train, again, friction reduction. Brand new pistons with higher compression ratio for thermal efficiency. All new turbochargers for a broader torque, for a broader map on the turbocharger, more boost and more air fuel. And with those turbochargers, we've got another Ford first. We're electronically controlling the wastegate, and it allows us really to have very efficient turbo operation and engine operation. And then a number of friction reduction actions, again, aimed at just more efficiency and optimizing the engine. So we have the RFF valve train, we've got a variable displacement oil pump, we've got low tension ring packs, low tension front end accessory drive, and a special coating on the bearings for low friction. And again, what we're also after is output, so clearly more torque. 30 more foot-pounds of torque on the engine takes us up to peak torque of 450 foot-pounds of torque. That is best in class of any V6 engine, gas or diesel. And the guys and gals that will haul heavy payloads, tow, will really like the increase in torque. A couple of slides now on the second generation, all new 3.5 EcoBoost on the technology. So I mentioned the fuel system. So it is a Ford first for us. We've got 2 fuel systems on the engine. Like I mentioned, a direct injection, which is on today's engine, but we've supplemented that now with port fuel injection as well. So there's 2 injectors per cylinder. We really can optimize efficiency, emission control, cold startability, and the output and performance of the engine with the 2 fuel systems. Another all-new feature is our turbochargers. Again, as I mentioned, broader map, more airflow, more boost for improved performance and efficient operation. In addition to that, we've got electronically controlled wastegate. So we can open, on the current engine, you need to build pressure before you can open and close the wastegate. On our second generation new D35 EcoBoost, we went to electronically controlled wastegate. You can open the wastegate at any speed load point and improve the operating efficiency of both the turbos and the engine. It effectively acts as like a back pressure reduction, and it reduces the pumping work in the engine. In addition to that, on the turbocharger, we've used some very extensive and advanced materials on the turbine wheel. So we're using some aerospace material there. It's a MARM 247 alloy for the turbine wheel. Allows us to get a little bit lighter on the turbine wheel, more responsive, yet still be able to take the heat and the temperature. Next one is really just auto start stop. I think you know about that. We made it a standard feature now, but we've also tailored it to the truck customer. So on a normal operation, you come to a stoplight, the engine will shut off. When we're towing or when we're in 4-wheel drive mode, we are going to leave it on, so we've tailored it to the customer usage. And then finally on the technology, like I said, all new cylinder head, brand new valve train, designed a roller finger follower for friction reduction. We've improved the intake and exhaust materials for the higher output and to take the temperature. Hydraulic last adjusters, again, for wear compliance and for durability. And then in the spirit also of lightweighting, on the camshafts, we went to hollow camshafts. We saved about a pound each. So that's about 4-pound reduction, again, in the spirit of lightweighting and more efficient operation. So those are just a few of the highlights. We will be here afterwards by the engine to take more specific questions if you have it. What I get to do now, though, is introduce my transmission counterpart. Kevin Norris is going to come up and tell you all about the all-new 10-speed transmission. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jim. And thanks again to all of you for taking time this morning to join us. My name is Kevin Norris. I manage our 10-speed rear-wheel drive transmission programs. And we're really excited, we really couldn't be more excited to talk to you this morning about our all-new 10-speed transmission. In and of itself, the EcoBoost alone is remarkably advanced, or the transmission is remarkably advanced, but when you combine the two, it creates a powertrain combination that's truly an unbeatable combination in this segment. So, we want to talk about 5 key aspects today. There's a number of design elements that we'll touch on, and it really follows the same theme that Jim talked about, in that it's not about efficiency or performance, it's about efficiency and performance. And we'll have time after the presentation, both Adam Griglack, our chief engineer, and I will be available over by the displays to answer your technical questions, but we at least want you to take away 5 key aspects of this design. And we'll touch on those, and they'll be related to efficiency, performance, and of course lightweighting like Jim talked about. So the first is the design itself. It's really the architecture, and the foundation of that is a wide ratio gear span and optimized gear spacing. This gives us improved acceleration and improved available torque, and when you combine that wide ratio with the optimized gear spacing, including 3 overdrive gears, it enables lower numerical axle ratios, and the result is improved highway fuel economy, improved fuel economy during city driving, and it does it all while maintaining trailer tow leadership. So along the lines of lightweighting, our objective was to maximize durability and maximize function while creating the lightest weight components possible. In doing so, we used advanced alloys, both high-strength steel, high-strength aluminum, as well as composites. In fact, this transmission is a Ford first. It's the first Ford transmission that does not include any cast iron content. Another lightweighting opportunity for us was a torque converter with an integrated turbine clutch. This design reduces our overall component count. It saves about 2 pounds over a conventional torque converter. And another added benefit is that it reduces the axial footprint. And it was one of the enablers that allows us to package all this 10-speed content and technology that we'll go through in an overall length that's pretty much the same as the previous 6-speed. One unique feature on this 10-speed is it includes an internal integrated stop-start system. That's an electric pump that works in conjunction with the standard EcoBoost auto stop-start system. Keeps the transmission engaged during the stop events, provides seamless restart and driving efficiency. So, along with all new hardware, we knew it was critical to manage 10 speeds, and we created an all-new electronic control system with improvements in many features, including tow haul and sport modes. We've got smarter shift logic, gives F-150 customers even more confidence when towing. We have new features such as all-new real-time adaptive shift scheduling that really adapt an event while it's happening to produce the most desired outcome. It uses inputs, more than a dozen from the driver, the vehicle, and the powertrain to produce the most desirable outcome rather than waiting to adapt over time. It gives us the opportunity to put the customer in the right gear at the right time and really supports a sporty and engaging driving experience. So there's a number of design elements and technologies in the transmission that we haven't touched on in this presentation, but we'll make plenty of time over by the displays to answer your technical questions. I do want to maybe just give a few examples of some of those. They include an off-axis variable displacement pump for improved efficiency. We've incorporated a 3-clutch rotating nested clutch module that, again, is a lightweighting opportunity and also a package-saving opportunity. And one of the most important features, all new integrated hydraulic direct acting controls. That gives us the opportunity to really define the shift character of this transmission, which is smooth and fast. So the last slide that I want to leave you with is a look at efficiency. The plot on the screen is a look at engine efficiency for a generic engine that looks at fuel consumption at various load and speed points. So the takeaway here that we'll look at is keep your eye on the magenta line. That represents the line of ideal efficiency for a given engine, and the idea of a transmission engineer is to try to design a transmission with the right gear ratios and then calibrate it so it has the right scheduling to lie as close as possible to that ideal line. Now, historically, when we look at 4-speed transmissions, you can see a relatively large shift map, and all of those points in that map represent various shift points on a general fuel economy driving cycle. You can see a large distribution far away from the ideal line. When we migrated to 6 speeds, a significant improvement. You can see a tighter distribution closer to the ideal efficiency line. But when we lay in the most efficient transmission ever in F-150, our all-new 10-speed, you can see a further significant reduction. And the result from that is fuel efficiency at highway speeds, improved fuel economy while city driving, all with maintaining best-in-class tone. So I want to thank you again for taking time with us this morning.
And you are Kevin Norris, and you're the tranny guy.
Yep, I manage our 10-speed rear-wheel drive programs at Ford.
Now, it says here that you got 6 forward, and you got 3 overdrives. We're missing a gear. What's that?
7th gear is direct drive. Unlike our 6 speeds that are in production that no longer have a direct drive like 3 and 4 speeds, we've reincorporated a direct drive for efficiency.
Cool. So we do have a 1-to-1, so at least we know something going on.
Yep.
Okay, 3 overdrives. Get to 10-speed. What is like the final ratio? Like a 0.05 or?
Top overdrive ratio is about 0.64, with a deeper first gear ratio about 4.7, so an overall span of about 7.4.
So then the first 7 gears are a lot closer than they were. So you got, how close are they?
Well, they're all really close. That's the great thing about this architecture is it's a 4 planetary 6-clutch architecture, and even with 10 speeds, they're all very well spaced. So beyond first, second, and third, shift spacing is roughly 20% per gear. So you have no ratios that are difficult or hard to use. There's optimized spacing 1 through 10.
Cool. Well, that'd be really nice in the Super Duties. Is that next, the 10-speed in the Super Duties?
Well, we're talking about F-150 today, so
okay.
That's what the focus is.
All right. What now? Are you talking about integrated clutch in the torque converter? Is that this one?
Yep, that's this one. It's called an integrated turbine clutch, and it combines parts by taking the turbine assembly itself and combining that with the friction lockup clutch. So that reduces part count, and over a conventional torque converter of this size, saves over 2 pounds.
So how many discs are on the lockup torque converter, the clutch disc? There's 3, 1, what's on that?
This is a single disc. Single disc.
What, is there one in the turbine itself?
That is the one. The single disc is the turbine clutch.
I thought we had more discs in the past, but I guess not. So the what is that one? It throws oil all over the place, creates your torque. What's that little thing called in there? The stator?
Yep.
Is that different?
The 3 elements of the hydraulic torque converter, the impeller, the turbine, and the stator, are conventional in terms of their behavior. The only difference is how you incorporate this clutch for the lightweighting feature.
Is there anything different about the oil? Have you gone to a synthetic or what's?
Yep, we've moved away from our standard low viscosity oils that we're using in 6 speeds, and we've moved into what we call an ultra low viscosity realm. So it's much lower viscosity at colder temperatures and provides an efficiency benefit even at operating temperature.
So it's like water.
It's water, but the good thing about it is that we were able to develop an oil that has better wear characteristics than our current low viscosity fluid.
Well, all the things you have to do in there, I'm sure it has to be a very light oil just to be able to shift that many gears and what you've done with the pump and the off and on. You've got a lot of work coming out of this transmission. I'm amazed you can get all that in the same length as the old one.
Yeah, it's within, I say, almost the same length, nominally right around a half an inch, depending on the driveline configuration, different than the 6-speed.
I guess I'll stop wanting a 2-speed rear end. If you got all these gears here, I'm happy there. Well, that is awesome. Now, and this is in all the F-150s or just the EcoBoost for the 2017?
Right now we're launching in the 3.5-liter EcoBoost, and we've also announced that we're launching in the F-150 Raptor as well with 3.5-liter.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. This is a cool transmission. I am with Adam Gryglak.
Yes.
Wow, I got that. Cool. And you're a transmission dude too?
Yeah, I'm the chief engineer of the rear-wheel drive transmission group.
Well, and you're the one I want to talk to. And the question I had on the transmission, with all those gears and all those overdrives, does the final drive in the rear end, your rear end ratio change?
Yeah, so basically for the 2017 product offering, we're maintaining the current FDRs that we offer the customer.
FDR.
Final drive ratios.
Oh, okay. Big word. Okay.
Yeah, so basically the 355 and the 373 rear ends that are currently available on the platform will still be available, but with the 10-speed, it really does offer or enable you to go to the lower gear ratio or the lower rear end. However, the customer is going to be able to pick now. Clearly, the performance feel, the improved performance that comes along with that, and the fuel economy that will still be available, the customer now has a choice.
Well, that's cool. Well, with 3 overdrives, that means when you're in one of those overdrives, you have all that power and axle ratio geared down, you would have great power, even in overdrive. Well, that makes sense. I mean, I kept thinking you'd change that to get better fuel mileage, but we still like the power of the EcoBoost.
You got 10 available gears now, right gear at the right time, which is perfect. I mean, you're going to be able to get the improved performance feel as well as the fuel consumption that comes along with it with those 3 overdrives.
Well, cool. Well, that's great. Now, what else am I going to ask you about that? That's the lowest one now is a 373. I can't remember.
I think the lowest one we offer right now with a 4x4 is a 355.
355. Okay, because I know a long time ago we had 410s and all that, and semis have gone away and trucks have gone away. And I still like a 373, but whatever. If you say it works, it works. We'll go out and burn some rubber in 10th gear. It'd be awesome.
And you can also get better fuel consumption, which is awesome.
Cool. Well, they're talking about dual injection, all these other things. I thought maybe you had to put the fuel tank on top of the engine to get it in there quick enough.
I can't talk to the engine guys right now.
Well, I was asking because dual injection and port, that's like 3 different kinds of injection. I'll have to talk to them. Thanks, Adam. I'm here with Jim
Mazachowski.
Okay. That's not the easiest thing to pronounce. That's good, though. This is the new Series 2 3.5. Now, you said it has dual injection, port injection, kind of like what Toyota has a port injection on their engine. So that's like 3 different fuel delivery systems, basically.
Okay, so it is our all new second generation 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, and one of the features on the engine is a dual fuel system. So we have a direct injection fuel system, and we have a port fuel injection system. So there's 2 fuel injection systems on the engine and 2 injectors per cylinder.
Okay, and then the port that goes in the intake, right?
The port injection system is a traditional
20 years ago. I remember that.
Injectors in the intake port, and then the DI system, the injector's mounted right to the cylinder head and squirts fuel directly into the cylinder.
So the port's almost like a pre-combustion chamber. Does it mix the port? Okay, like the old diesels had.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that much fuel delivery system, and you made that efficient, so it doesn't get. I mean, I'm thinking with that many fuel delivery systems, you're going to have a fuel tank on top of the engine. But it's more.
No, actually everything is tucked in the valley of the engine. So there are 2 sets of fuel rails in there, and there's 12 injectors in there. So everything is tucked right in there.
So then that makes it that's the efficiency thing too. You can make it. I know it's more power, but all that fuel delivery is still efficient, so it gets better MPG hopefully than the last series.
Yeah, it definitely will. It is efficient. So what we're able to do with the 2 fuel systems is optimize when both of them are on. For example, when you need maximum output and maximum performance, but at the other end of that spectrum, where you have light load and low RPM, you can turn the DI system off. So actually you get more efficient by turning the DI pump off.
I can. There's a button for that, or
No, it'll be automatically.
computer does. Well, I want to play with it.
Yeah, no, it'll be automatically all controlled, and again, so we've really got the best of both worlds in terms of optimizing output and then being very efficient when we can turn the pump off.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And earlier I was confused about the engine. I guess the Series 2 is available in all the F-150s with EcoBoost, the 3.5 twin turbo, and then there's a high output version for the Raptor, right?
That is correct. So for 17 model year F-Series, the 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine gets the second generation of the engine, and then there also is a high output variant for Raptor.
And that's better intake, or what all does the Raptor get?
It shares quite a bit of commonality with the F-Series engine. There will be new and unique turbochargers, exhaust manifolds, and pistons. Are primarily different. So it shares a high commonality with F-Series.
Well, cool. And this now we're up to a 10,000 mile oil change on it? And
Yeah, we're pretty standard in the company. It's 10,000 mile oil change. Yep.
And so this is new, the coil unplug ignition?
Similar designs, but higher energy again for the higher output. Yep.
And before on the vacuum release on the turbos, the wastegate, they were a vacuum type, and now they're electric?
That's another big technology enhancement for us. The turbochargers are all new for the second generation new EcoBoost engine, and one of the big features is how we control open and close the wastegate. So today, on today's first generation engine, you have to build pressure and it's pneumatically open and closed. What we do on our second generation EcoBoost engine is electronically activated wastegate control. So we can open and close those wastegates at any speed load point. So effectively what you're able to do is when you don't need the boosting, you open the wastegate and you operate more efficiently. You effectively reduce the back pressure against the engine, and the engine operates much more efficiently.
So that means I should have zero turbo lag.
We've also been able to use some high temperature alloys from the aerospace industry to do exactly that. The turbine wheel has been redesigned to be lighter and quicker response, so it should feel very nicely, yet still be able to take the temperatures that we throw at it.
With all the different things you've done to the throttle and all that, is that change the engine braking or any of that? Because I know tow haul mode does most of the work, but in the old gas engines, the throttle used to give us a little engine braking. We couldn't give the diesel. Does that change at all in this? Well, that's awesome. This is aluminum block. I guess the 2.7 is that graphite thing, and this is all
die-cast aluminum block, die-cast cylinder heads, all aluminum. The oil pan is two-piece for NVH. Cam cover is an intake manifold composite for light weighting, and again, like I said, kind of new manifolds, new turbos for performance and output.
Well, I'm sure I get more questions, but I may have to wait so I can think them all up because this is a lot of stuff to digest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the EPA numbers to see what it does for that. What are the horsepower and torque numbers on the regular second generation?
So the base engine that we're talking about today, what we're going to deliver to the customer is 30 more foot-pounds of torque. So peak torque is going to be 450 foot-pounds, and that's going to be best in class of any V6 engine, whether it's gas or diesel, and the horsepower number is going to be 365 horsepower.
That's pretty good bragging rights when you're beating the diesel on torque. I like that. Okay, well thanks, Jim. Okay.